Welcome to the first episode of Pretty Geez Thingz, the podcast. I am your host, Geez. Pretty Geez, Heather. I don't know. I don't even know what I want to introduce myself as yet, but it's happening, y'all. This is the first episode. I have been sitting here for the past half hour trying to get this started because I'm just so, if you know me, you know I am a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. So I am looking at all the little things that y'all are probably not going to look at all, which is very frustrating to say the least. But anyway, we're here. Welcome to Pretty Geez Thingz, where we talk about the pretty, the messy, and everything in between. And that is exactly what we are going to get into here on my podcast. I know people are probably wondering, like, where did the podcast come from? Like, thought she was selling lip gloss. So we're going to get into all that. This first episode, as you can tell by the title, very personal to me. I will be talking about my dad, who passed away earlier this year. I did just want to make this first episode in honor of him. Another way I can honor him, just touch on him a little bit, and why I guess you can call it a pilot. That's why I love a good pilot episode. So yeah, let's get into it. First of all, why a podcast? Okay, if you know, you know. This is what I do best. I talk a lot. So I feel like I'm really putting what I thought was once a flaw to good use, I guess. And I feel like it'll be beneficial for me. But this is actually not random. This is not out of nowhere. I was been supposed to do this podcast back in April of 2024. So I had a whole logo and everything. Let's get into that. Okay, so my podcast was originally going to be called Gloss Talk because if you don't know, I sell cosmetics. That's my other business, Gloss by G's. And I sell, lip glosses, lip liners, lip scrubs, everything, cosmetics. I also tag in the business. I have on my blush, my highlighter, and my lip glosses now. But I was going to start a business podcast. I wanted to talk about my business. And that was really stemming from the fact that I was not feeling passionate about my business anymore. And honestly, if I'm going to be 100, we're going to keep it all the way 100. I don't feel passionate about my business right now. I don't feel passionate about lip gloss. That's just not, I don't know. It's just not, I don't want to say, I don't know. I feel like maybe it can come back to me, but at this point in time and at that point in time last year, so over a year now, I just haven't been feeling passionate. And I guess I was trying to get the spark back. So I felt like, okay, if I start a podcast, I'm talking about my business. I'm getting exposure for my business from talking about it on the podcast. And I'm like, this will be good. This will get the engine going again. But as you can see, it did not, because I didn't even start the podcast. That's how not motivated I felt about my business, that I didn't even want to do a podcast about it. So and then I started getting all in my head because I'm like, okay, well, if it's gloss talk, I can only talk about my business, so I can only talk about cosmetics. And then I was like, okay, what if I want to talk about something unrelated to my business, and now I'm misrepresenting my brand or whatever? As you see, overthinker. So it just started going down a whole whirlwind of things and never got around to it. But this is a way for me to express my creativity. That was what Glossed originally was for me, and it still is. But that's literally on my About Me page on my website. Is Glossed was a way for me to be able to express all the creativity. I feel like I'm a very creative person. I have a lot of good ideas. I'm a very even just when it comes to drawing, I like to draw. I'm a very creative person, and I don't have an outlet for that. So this essentially will be my outlet. That's one thing I really enjoyed, not only about selling the cosmetics for Gloss, but I really enjoyed the business aspect of it. I really enjoyed making the flyers and making my logo. I've made my logo for this too. It's I enjoy that. So I just needed something to be able to do that. And granted, I was doing YouTube and I'm still vlogging for YouTube, but again, just nothing was really speaking to me. And I feel like this is perfect. And honestly, I've had at least 4 people now tell me that one person said they were like, you were made for this life. And another one of my girlfriends was like, that this is perfect for you. I think this is right down your lane. And I'm like, why do you say that? She's like, you're very outspoken and you're relatable. And that's, I'm like, why ain't nobody tell me nothing? Why? Somebody could have told me to been do this, but that's on me because I wasn't sharing what I wanted to do. I was all in the mindset of can't tell people your next move, da 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 da. But honestly, I don't believe in it. I feel like I was trying to force myself to believe in it, but clearly it didn't make no difference because I just didn't even get around to it. And I feel like the more I've been talking about it, the podcast, I've gotten around to it, as we can see. So, but so I guess why now, Oh, wait, and then before we get into that, I do want to talk about the name. So Pretty Geez Thingz. If this is your first time encountering me, Pretty Geez is my Instagram name. Geez is a nickname. So let me just tell the whole thing, and let's clear the rumors up for this. Okay, so because everybody's name is Geez now, which really pisses me off. That really grinds my gears. Everybody is G something now, and that is just boo, tomatoes, tomatoes. So HG's is the real where my name was really derived from. So my name is Heather. If you don't know, my name is Heather. My last name starts with a G. So that's where I was on the phone with two of my friends. We were like 14, and we was just bidding. We was doing like we was like making up raps, and I spit a little words. And afterwards, they was like, yeah, HGs. Like, it just came out of it. It's like, yeah, HGs. And it's from my initials. It's from my actual name. So, and I've always wanted a nickname because, as you can imagine, with Heather, where's the nickname? There's really no nickname you can come up with Heather. So I always wanted a nickname, so I kind of clung to that. And then I worked at Chipotle in high school, and everybody had a nickname. Like, everybody, like, we would yell chicken shallow. Sorry, I had to adjust the mic. But at Chipotle, they would yell like, oh, chicken in the shallow, and they would yell somebody's nickname. And I didn't have one because my name's Heather. So and they were like, oh, like, do you have it? They asked me if I had a nickname, and you know how somebody asks you have a nickname, and like, clearly you have a nickname. I just was like, yeah, people call me HGs. So from then on, everybody at the job was calling me HGs, and then it just slowly trickled down to G's, and I just stuck to it. And then it really did become where my friends and people that I meet are calling me G's. Like, so on Instagram, my name was my first name spelled backwards, Rahita. My friends always make fun of me, and I was like, I'm so tired of this name. Like, I want like a identity or something. So I made it Pretty G's because, pretty, and then G's. And so that has been my Instagram handle or just all my social media handles for years now. And I've attached it to my business. Well, I've attached G's to my business, but I was trying to come up with a podcast name. And at first I did G's at night because I thought this was like a cute, like, it's nighttime. But I don't know if I'm always going to want to record at night. So that was kind of getting me like tricked up. Like, oh, what if I want to record in the daytime? Now, how is that G's at night? Or what if I don't want it to be a night show or whatever? And I don't know. And then I think, what was another one? G's, or they were stupid. I had stupid names. Actually, no, I want to, because I have the names for y'all. Hold on. Because I really do just want to be completely transparent about the background of this. It was so funny. Okay, so other name ideas were G's Cast, G's That Hit Different, Late Nights with G's, that's what it was. Pretty Geez Thingz, which is what I chose, and G's, I felt that. So I chose Pretty Geez Thingz because, one, it's super duper cute, and then I feel like there's like a double play on the name. So like Pretty Geez, which is me, like, this is Pretty Geez Thingz, this is Heather Thingz, this is Geez Thingz, or like Pretty Geez Thingz, like that, like things we talk about, like that sounds like G's, like that's pretty much G's. So you get it. Okay. So what really got me into wanting to do it now is losing my dad. So tying that back together, I lost my dad back in January of this year, and losing my dad shifted things for me, as you can imagine, of course. But what really got me is the loss of conversation. So me and my dad talk on the phone every single day. Okay, that's my last time adjusting the mic. Visual people, I'm sorry. Back to it. So losing my dad, I realized, so one, like, it's so much. So me and my dad would talk on the phone every single day like that. We, like, hours. I'm talking hours. Like, I would talk to my dad about things that people, like I said that at his service. I was like, like, I would be telling people like, yeah, I was talking to my dad about this, that, and the third. And they're like, you told your dad that? And I'm like, yes, like, I talked to my dad about everything. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, I really talked to my dad about everything. So losing him, I lost these conversations. I lost these raw, unfiltered conversations that I was meaningful conversations that I was able to have with my dad on a daily basis. And it really was and still is getting to me. It's like, I didn't realize how big, and like, I don't want to say I didn't realize, because that's one thing I'm so grateful, and I'm glad that I don't have to feel that regret of not saying things or whatever the case may be, because I always told my dad how grateful I was for him, and I always communicated to him how much I appreciated these conversations. But if like somebody would ask me like, what's the one thing you miss most, that is it. It's the conversations, it's the talks I had with my dad. And so with this, literally our phone calls could have been a podcast. With me starting my podcast, I am hoping that maybe I can bring those raw, unfiltered and meaningful conversations to the podcast, to you, to the listener or viewer, whichever one. And maybe and that will possibly, it's like I'm doing my own therapy basically, like, and I am in therapy, by the way. I am in actual therapy, but I feel like this will be a form of therapy for me where I'm able to have these conversations and communicate with a larger audience and possibly give that to someone what my dad gave to me. And then, of course, I can't fill the void of my dad. It's way too large of a void to fill, but I'm hoping it'll bring me some type of comfort doing this and having this forum, I guess, to have these conversations. And that's where I got pretty messy and everything in between, because me and my dad talked about the pretty, we talked about the messy, and we talked about every single thing you can think of in between. So I'm hoping that I can give that to someone else or make this a comfort space for someone else. In talking to my dad, I just like, I don't even know where to start. I want this first episode to be dedicated to him. I want to talk about him. I want you guys to know me, get to know me better as a person. And because I'm like so shocked that there are going to be people watching who've never been on anything of mine before. Like, y'all be seeing on TikTok, I'd be like, whole time, this is my first time meeting you. Like when somebody posts something crazy. But yeah, so where to start. I just want to share so a little story about my dad. One of my favorite, most recent memories about my dad, just to speak to the kind of relationship we had. I had went to LA back in December. My dad passed in January. I went to LA back in December to visit my best friend. She lives out there. And my mom and dad came and they watched my cat. My cat has diabetes. We're getting down into my lore. My cat has diabetes, so I have to give her 2 shots of insulin a day. Yeah, twice per day. So they watched my cat while I was gone, and I threw everything out in my fridge before I left. I don't know why I was only going for the weekend, literally 48 hours, but I threw everything out. My dad was like, oh my goodness, you have nothing in your fridge. You need to let me know when you're struggling. Da, da, da. I'm like, I am not struggling. Mind you, my dad, right before I left, came and dropped money off to me at the nail salon. So I'm like, Dad, I'm literally at the nail salon. Do you think this is a clear representation that I chose to get my nails done over my groceries? I'm good. I'm like, it's not literally I have a problem. It's something's wrong up here. So I came back and my dad was like, he could not get over it. He was so mad about me not having any groceries. So he was like, I'm taking you to the grocery store, da da da. So he takes me to the grocery store and I put probably 5 things in the basket. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And he's like, where is the snacks? Where is the drinks? Where is the soda? Where is everything? Stop playing, fill this cart up. So I did just that, because one thing about me, I like to spend other people's money. Granted, I don't mind spending my own. I'm Miss Independent for sure, but once you lock it in that I can do, yeah, I'm on that. So I filled the cart up. It was like $200. I'm over here. I grabbed one more little thing, a bag of grapes, and I was like, I'll get these. I'll pay for these myself. He was getting so mad at the register. He was like, put it in the cart. So we get back to my apartment and he's coming in, we're putting all the groceries away, and we were going to meet up with the rest of the family, and we get in the car and I had got everybody souvenirs, and his souvenir was a little tiny, I can see it right now. It's a little tiny Grammy, fake Grammy statue, and it says best dad. And so when we got back in the car, I was like, now I know this isn't equaling up to what you just did for me. This is the smallest thing, but I feel like it fits the moment right now. So here you go. And I gave it to him and he loved it. He always wanted to go to LA. He never got the chance to. So it was really meaningful for me to be able to give that to him. I know it might sound so small, but it's I'm like, this is literally off Hollywood Boulevard. So you've touched something that was on Hollywood Boulevard. So technically, that's one thing, a part of grief, that I just try to hold on to the little things. And that's what I mean. To me, in my head, I'm like, okay, he kind of had a bit of LA, he touched something from LA, so that's good enough. And not good enough, but that makes me feel a little better. So that just is a story, to speak to who my dad was as a person, type of relationship we had. That wasn't the last time I saw him. The last time I saw him was Christmas. So Christmas is gonna be really I want to say hard for me, but I feel like Christmas will always be really special for me now, because it is the last time I got to see him. And, we got to exchange gifts. He got me an air fryer. I got him these Ugg slippers. I still have them. Very morbid, but he actually passed away with the Ugg slippers on, which was crazy. I just got you these slippers. I ain't even finished paying them off on Afterpay. Love me some Afterpay. And I think why this took me so long too is because I could not do this without honoring my dad. And of course, like, he just passed in January. We're in August now. It's September when you hear this. I wasn't in a place where I could talk about him yet without bawling my eyes out. Who knows, I might cry today. But I wasn't in a place where I could talk about him without like boo-hoo crying. So I wanted to wait so that I could be able to honor him, because I just felt like I could not do this without honoring him, like without speaking on him, without giving my own little dedication to him. I have a hair on my face and it is literally, sorry. Okay. The last conversation I had, sorry, I love having my little note cards. I feel so professional. But the last conversation I had with my dad too, I think that just speaks to stop waiting to do things, because the day my dad passed, actually, it was such a, like, life is so weird too, because I feel like people, and I've had a lot of friends, or almost all my friends, they've had a parent or a sibling pass, so like, or both. So that is why, like, this just threw me off guard. I did not, and granted, I don't know why it threw me off guard, because not to say I would assume like, oh, it's gonna happen to me too, but like, I've been the only one for so long who didn't have that happen to me yet. This was the first death I've experienced that was like a big death. Like, my grandparents are still, my grandma, actually, sorry, my grandma passed away a couple years ago, my paternal grandma, but I wasn't as close with her. I got closer to her like in the later years. I'm getting off topic, but you get what I'm saying. Like, my dad was, that was, for this to be the first death I experienced that's like close, and then it's the closest person to me, crazy. And it was just crazy too, the day he died. And I feel bad because everybody's always like, passed away. I'm like, no, died. My dad died. Like, the day he died, I went to call him, and I remember contemplating, like, because I always call him when I get off of work, because he's usually about to be off of work. I try not to call him during the day because sometimes he can be in a little mood, and I don't like that. That makes me sad. That will ruin my whole day. If he's not in the mood to talk to me, it's gonna ruin my day. So I was contemplating calling him because I was like, maybe I should just wait till I'm off of work. And that's what I mean. I overthink, like, what if I would have waited? Would the day still have went the way it did? Like, I don't know. It's so weird. But I ended up calling him on my lunch break, and I could tell by the way he greeted me that he was in a good mood to talk, because the way my dad will greet me, he'll be like, hey, or hey, baby girl. Or when he don't want to talk, it's like, what up? Or what's up? Like, so I was so happy that he went to talk, and I feel like that really, like, just reflecting on the day, I'm just like, wow, like, I'm glad it went the way it did in that aspect of between, like, our last interaction. So we're on the phone, and I can hear him wheezing a little bit. I asked him, like, what's wrong? He has asthma. So before I even get into it, but my dad passed away from, his immediate cause of death was acute asthma exacerbation. I hope I'm saying that right. But essentially, my dad passed away from an asthma attack, which he's been dealing with his whole life. He's always had really bad asthma. So this was not new. Him saying, like, oh, my asthma's acting up and, like, I'm having a hard time. Like, that's normal. Like, my dad has asthma attacks. He takes his treatments. He goes to the hospital sometimes, maybe. So it's just crazy. Like, my dad had COVID at the height of it, like, and made it through with the word. Like, he has deadly asthma. My dad has totaled a car before. He's been driving and had an asthma attack and went unconscious and crashed into somebody's front yard, totaled a car and made it. So, like, just for the context of, like, there was no thought in my mind that day, like, oh, my dad's gonna die today. Like, but it was just weird because, again, what I'm about to get into. So we're on the phone, and my dad is like, yeah, my asthma's acting up. And my mom's like, you're gonna have to call and check on it. And I'm like laughing, like, oh, I have no problem doing that, because I will bother my dad to death. Like, not to death. Sorry, I have dark humor too. If you're here and you're listening, I have very dark humor. You're gonna have to get used to it. My dad knew I had it. He didn't like it that much, but because he just thinks it's weird. But sorry, that's how I get by. So I would bother my dad to the end. Literally, and that's what I did. I'll bother my dad. I will call my dad. Even that's why I get sad when he's, like, not trying to talk to me, because I'm like, sir, I just love you. Like, I'm obsessed with you. You're my dad. Like, you're my bestie. Like, and that's why I told him all the time, like, you are my bestie. So when she's like, oh, like, you have to call and check on him throughout the week, I'm like, no problem. Another excuse to call you? Absolutely. So he's like, oh my gosh, like, now you're about to be bothering me all week. But he's like, we're a very big joking family, and that's what I mean. I don't get why he didn't like my dark humor like that. He just thinks it's a little sick. To be honest, I think he liked it and just didn't like to admit that he thinks bad things are funny sometimes. But he had very bad humor too, because literally the day my dad died, we're on the phone, and this man is laughing, saying, Heather, I'm dying. He just kept saying, Heather, I'm dying. And that's what I mean, where life is weird, because I don't know what came over me, and that's what I mean, he could vouch if he was here, my mom could vouch. I just started crying. I literally that day, my dad died on the phone a couple hours before he passed. Started crying on the phone when he was saying that. I don't know why. Like he's joked like that before because like, oh, I'm dying. I don't feel like I'm dying. Like, but I don't know what it was about the day. I felt something heavy come over. I was literally standing in my kitchen, and I don't know, something came over me. I felt heavy. My body just felt heavy, and I was like, whoa, 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 like, hold on. And I was like, stop saying that. Like, stop saying that. I don't like that. Can you not say that? Like, why do you have to say that? Because with my friends, having friends who have lost people so often, these are conversations me and my dad have. We've had conversations about, God forbid you pass, or this, that, and the third. Like, we talk about these things, but not deep enough where I literally would know what to do. But we touch on the topic. So when he's saying it, I'm like, all right, like, we've already talked about this before, and I've told him, like, when you go, I go. Like, I'm out with you. Like, I'm still like, still thinking a little bit. But I would always be like, I'm not living without my dad. Like, that's not in the books for me. I just imagine my dad being here for a very long time. So when he kept saying that, I'm just like, sir, you don't get it. Like, when you go, I go. Like, what is not clicking? Why is it not clocking to you? Like, so he stopped eventually. And I was like, I remember I made a joke like, I should be an actor because all you have to do is bring up that and tears immediately flowing, because that's how I felt and still feel. But yeah, we joked a little bit. We just talked about we talked about so much different stuff that day. We talked about moving to North Carolina because I want to move to North Carolina, and he was talking about how he wants to move to like LA or Florida. And I was like, he said he wanted to move somewhere warm, and I said not LA or Florida. And sorry to the Los Angelans or Floridians. No, I just told him, I was like, no, they're going to fall off first. No. I was like, let's go to North Carolina. He was like, I'm not mad at the Carolinas. And then we talked about my high school boyfriend because he was messaging me. No. He posted me on Facebook, and we broke up like 8 years ago, and he posted me on Facebook, and I was telling my dad about that. Telling my dad about everything. Telling him about that. We're talking about this old movie with Ice Cube, Janky Promoters, because I had watched it the night before. Like, just regular over our conversation. That's what we would do. So they were at Aldi's, the grocery store, and they were going to go inside, him and my mom. So I was like, all right, like, just call me when y'all get back. And they went inside. And I went back to work. I work from home. And then, like, my mom called me when they got back. We sat on the phone for a little bit. And this is what I love, though, because the last thing me and my dad said to each other was, I love you, because that's what we always did when we got off the phone with each other. That's what we said. We said, I love you to each other. So I always cherish that the last words me and my dad said to each other were, love you. The last words I heard him say was, it's time to go to the hospital, though. And that's another thing. When my dad says it's time to go to the hospital, it's time to go to the hospital, because that man, he will turn blue in the face before he go to the hospital, which is a problem in itself. But he said that. My mom got off the phone with me. And basically from there, they didn't make it into the car. My mom called me back, said they had to call an ambulance. And she kind of was just narrating everything that was going on. Like, we're putting him on the gurney. He's getting in the car, da-da-da-da. I won't even get it because that was very traumatizing in itself. To, like, basically my mom narrated my dad passing. But not passing, because at the time, of course, and I'm sorry if you did have to experience this ever in life, but when you're in that moment, there was nothing. So one of the things they said he's going in cardiac arrest. At the time, I didn't understand that cardiac arrest is not a heart attack. I thought cardiac arrest meant heart attack. And people survive heart attacks all the time. So I'm like, oh, he had a heart attack. Like, okay, so he's having a heart attack. Like, this is what's happening. Like, granted, his asthma probably triggered the heart attack, but like, it's a heart attack. Like, he's good. Like, that's my brain that day. Like, he's going to be good. Like, it's just a heart attack. Not just a heart attack, but you know what I'm saying. At this time, they're all the way up. They're like 40 minutes away from me, 30, 40 minutes away from me. And what's so crazy is I never wanted to move far away while they were here, while my dad was here, because I'm like, what if something happens and I can't get to you? And that day literally showed me that it doesn't matter. And that's why, again, just feeding more into the stop waiting to do things, because for years, I've been on my own for four years now. And I never wanted to move out of state because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be away from family. What if something happens and I can't get to them? And it's like, I was 30 minutes away. There's nothing that I could have did that day. But the ambulance is there. I get off the phone with my mom because I'm getting too worked up. I'm working her up, and she's on the scene while it's happening. So I'm trying not to work her up. Called my sister, told her to get up there, and I get in the Uber. I'm in the Uber, I'm bawling. I'm freaking out. I don't know what I'm going into. I'm assuming my dad, and that's what I mean. I'm thinking heart attack, and I'm thinking he could still, go, but maybe I'll be able to see by it. Like, that's where my thought process was with that. Cause I'm thinking, okay, he has really bad asthma mixed with a heart attack. Like, I don't know. Or what if I get up there and there's complications or he has to go in surgery? I just wanted to get there before, God forbid, that happened. And so in the ambulance, not ambulance, he's in ambulance, and I'm on my way up there. And about 10 minutes out, I called my sister and she didn't answer. So I called my uncle, and I knew my uncle somebody had called my uncle. I knew my uncle had been there. So I called my uncle. I was like, hey, like, what's going on? What's the update? And he's like, how far are you? And I was like, I'm about like 13 minutes away. Like, what's going on? He was like, call me when you're outside. And I was like, okay, but like, what's the update? And he hung up on me. And at that point, my heart sunk to my ass because I'm like, oh, this is happening. Like, this is happening. And so when everything first started, I had called my best friend in LA, and I'm crying on the phone telling her like, oh my God. And I feel so bad. I apologized to her. And of course she was like, you don't have to apologize. But I called her the week after this all happened, and I apologized because I was like, I can't imagine how traumatic that was for you. Because I called her like breaking down, like, not my dad. Her name Shirley. I was like, Shirley, not my dad. Like, not my dad. It can't be my dad. Like, my dad can't go. Like, I'm like screaming, crying on the phone. Like, he can't. Not my dad. Not my dad. Not my dad. I just remember I just kept saying, not my dad. Not my dad. Not my dad. Not my dad. So, and then it had to be my dad. So we okay, so fast forward from uncle. So Shirley ended up calling my friend, and she's texting me. I remember seeing her text, and I'm like, I'm just frazzled because I'm like, I'm usually the one giving the text. I'm not used to being the one receiving. I'm usually the one like, where are you? I'm on my way. What do you need? Like, let's go. So at this point, everybody's like, what's going on? Like, where are you at? Which hospital? So my friend Christina, she gets there. I'm walking in. I didn't call my uncle, and I didn't call him on purpose because I had a feeling what was going on, and I wanted to see for myself. I didn't want anybody calming me down. I didn't want anybody keeping me from wherever he was, my dad. So I didn't call anybody when I got there. I get there, I get to the emergency room. I tell them who I'm there for. They're like, okay. And there was three things. One was my uncle telling me, hanging up on me. Two, when I got there, none of my family was in the waiting area, which, of course, you're going off movies, TV shows, but I'm just like, why is nobody in the waiting area? Like, nobody. And then nobody was answering the phone. So nobody answering the phone mixed with that. That was weird. The third thing was when I told them who I was there for, instead of a nurse, like some lady in regular clothes, like a sweater and jeans, came out from some like little back area and was like, I'm gonna take you back to your family now, back to your dad. And then even in like, you're so delusional in the moment. Like, I'm like, she's taking me back to my dad because he's still alive, you know? So I'm like, okay, my friend Christina's behind me at this point. And it was literally like a movie scene. So I get to the lady comes out and she's like, I'm gonna walk you back. So the way the hospital is Paoli Hospital, and it's two big doors. So like the doors are literally like boom, like they're automatic. So they open up, and the first thing I see is my uncle. My uncle is at the end of the hallway, and he is like this. Like, he is speed walking, like how your arms go back and forth. He is speed walking. And there's some like little tiny lady behind him. That's what I remember. It was some tiny, tiny lady behind him. And she's like trying to keep up. And my uncle's so far, and I have really bad eyes. I have contacts in right now. I have really bad eyes, so I'm wearing my glasses. And as he's getting close, I can't, that's to say I can't see. I cannot see. I have very poor sight, even with glasses on half the time. So he gets closer, and as he's getting closer, I see, and my uncle is like brown skin, and his face like is visibly red. His face and eyes are visibly red. And as he's getting closer, and when I saw that, I was just like, again, literal movie scene. It's like doors open, running up to me, and as soon as I saw, I was like, no, 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 no. Like, oh my goodness, I lost it. I lost it. Like, I had my purse. Like, I'm clutching my purse. Purse goes flying up in the air. I fall out. Literal movie scene, and I can only laugh about it again now because me and my dad, that was our relationship. Like, we were very funny in that. Like, when I talk about it now, if my dad would have seen the way I fell out, oh my goodness, he would be pissed. He would be pissed. And not actually, but like he hates the dramatics. Like he would be like, girl, get up. Like you cannot be fought. And that's what I mean. The day he passed before when we were on the phone, he's like, I'm like, Dad, when you go, I go. Like they're gonna have to lock me up at like mental. Like I can't handle that. And he's like, girl, get it together. Like he did not like that. He didn't like all the drama. So but literally it felt like I thought I was having a seizure. I'm not gonna lie. My friend Christine was like, girl, you were shit. Like I didn't even know what to do. Like your stuff just went flying around. Like I'm on the floor, like in fetal position, like no, you're lying. Like I'm pushing them. I'm like, you're lying. Like get away from. Like I'm freaking out. They ended up literally getting a wheelchair for me. They put me in a wheelchair and they took me in the back room, and that was where the rest of my family was, and my dad was on the table. And for anybody that has had to ever experience that in this life, someone close to them, I genuinely pray for you. And I know people always like, oh, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I would not wish that on anybody. And granted, we're all going to experience that someday, but it just really, the extent we feel it in is different because we all have different relationships. But I had to watch my best friend lay lifeless on the table, and it doesn't get you to get up, like to get the fuck up and do the shit you want to do in life. I don't know what will. And of course, like I'm gonna still be in my grieving process. Of course, I'm still gonna be in my little funks, and that, and not even funks, but that's, I mean, there are just some days you get up and you can't function, and of course that's gonna continue to be that way for probably a really long time. But days like today where I feel the motivation, where I hear my dad in my head like, get up, like what are you doing, like get it together, stop playing, like stop wasting your potential, that I'm gonna definitely take advantage of those days. Because not even gonna lie to y'all, and if you follow my Instagram, you might have seen, just being completely transparent, you might have seen me post like a picture. I had like two bangs. I had a white t-shirt on or whatever. But that was because I literally tried to record this episode the other day and I was getting so frustrated and upset. And it was because I just didn't have a good day. I already was missing my dad a lot that day. And that's, I mean, it just comes in waves where some days I can't function. I really can't. And I feel like people are like, oh, like you're like, when you're on, that's what social media has changed everything so much, because you see people on social media and you see people posting and you think, oh, they're fine, like you just posted. No, like that is a distraction. Like that is trying, and that's what I mean, where this, I'm hoping, will be a distraction as well as an outlet where I'm able to come on here and I'm able to talk. And that's what I mean, my biggest thing is connecting with people like-minded. And also, if I'm an open book, I overshare, I'm always like that. So I noticed a lot though when I do that, I feel like it does help. And sometimes, it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't get me anywhere with anybody. And sometimes, a lot of the time, I feel like it's used against me. But if it does help one person, I love it. So that, like, even with my YouTube, I vlogged about my first apartment, and I'll probably talk about that on here at some point. But my first apartment, worst experience ever, had roaches, had bed bugs, and that's, I mean, before, like younger me, I would never tell anybody that, but I share it because there are people to this day. Somebody just commented literally, like, I want to say 3 days ago, and was like, I'm having this experience and I feel like alone. I feel embarrassed, like I don't know what to do. And it's like somebody seeing me or seeing that's, I mean, I look somewhat normal. I look like I have a good life, and it's like, no, everybody's going through shit. They're just lying or they're hiding it, and I don't want to do that. I want to talk openly about it. I want to talk about the fact that nobody told me that when my dad died, I was going to wake up and forget he's not here and have mental breakdowns. Like, nobody told me that. Why didn't any? And that's, I mean, like, I guess too, you don't notice, like, or you learn more about grief and how to handle it when you're dealing with it, because now I'm reflecting so much on my friends and their grief, where it's like, oh my goodness, did I say this to one of them? Like, because I have people that say so, like, great, like, I put this one post up and I was like, nobody knows what I'm going through. Stop telling me you know what I'm going through. Stop saying you understand my pain. Because people who, that's just like something common to do. But it to me, it pisses me off. So people will be like, oh, like, I really understand where you're coming from. Like that, like, no, you don't. Do you understand the feeling of losing someone that you love? Yes. You don't know the feeling of losing my dad. Even if you knew my dad and you lost him in your life as well, you did not lose him in the capacity that I did. You did not lose that relationship between Heather and her dad. That's not what you lost. So you don't understand how I feel. Stop telling me that. But I don't think I said that to my friends, but that is just, when I'm hearing the things people are saying to me now, my brain is like, what things maybe that I said that did not come across the right way, and how can I do better now? Because I like some of the things that are said to me are just like like moral of the story is my dad is my motivation. He always will be my motivation. He has completely changed my life, but him losing him has completely changed my life as well. And it has just taught me that time waits for no one. Literally, it waits for no one. And there are so many things in life that my dad wanted to do that he did not get to. And that will forever, I want to say, like, haunt me, even though I don't want it to, but it will. I'm going to constantly do things and think about the fact that my dad didn't get to do them. When I go to new places, I'm going to think about the fact that he did not get to see this. And when I do new things like this, I'm going to think about he didn't get to see or experience this with me. And that sucks. But it's also, again, that's why mandatory had to honor him first episode, because he has to be a part of everything I do moving forward. And I'm glad that I do get to incorporate him in that way. And I know people are probably like, girl, this girl talks about her dad 24/7. Like, I have people that have DM me like, I can't watch her story anymore because it makes me bawl. And I get that, but I can't let people forget about him. I can't. I need people to know who Dennis Gray was. I need people to remember my dad. I need people to see me and see my dad. So that's where I'm at with it. Again, I just wanted to stop waiting. I wanted to finally get to it, even if I don't record. And that's what I mean. Don't be expecting like weekly episodes yet. I think I'm gonna do like a bi-weekly thing. So that's where I'm at right now. And I was thinking Thursday, but if I remember correctly, hold on, let me check the Instagram. And then I'd be feeling so weird picking my phone up, but I watch podcasts, and that's what I mean, like, they be literally looking at the outline off their phone. Let me see. I just did a poll the other day. I was gonna do Thursdays, and I know I probably shouldn't even be talking about this. I probably should already have it figured out when you guys are watching this. But people said Sunday and Wednesday. And so what I want y'all to do is in the comments, what day are y'all thinking? Because I really thought I would do Thursday. I mean, the one podcast I watch Behind the Likes, Love Them Down, Winter and Try. And they drop on Wednesday, so I kind of already wasn't thinking Wednesday, because I'm like, I already know a lot of people watch that, and especially I feel like the people who will watch mine will watch their podcast, so I didn't want to do it on Wednesday. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments what days y'all were thinking. Basically, me and my dad's relationship have shaped what this podcast will be. I do just want to, again, like I said, like, there are so many people that are tired of probably hearing me talk about my dad, are probably not going to finish watching this episode because they see that it's already about my dad again. But I'm sorry, it has to be. It has to. And if you have gotten this far into the episode, I thank you. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for allowing me this, and taking the time to hear and listen about my dad and taking that in. I genuinely appreciate that. I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being in this space with me and allowing me to have this space. It means everything, and it will continue to mean everything. And you just know, you personally, you are helping me. You are helping someone. And if you have gone through grief, or if you're going through grief right now and you're still grieving and in that process, I hope this is somewhat helping you. And I hope that you comment below and talk to me. And that's what I'm really looking for too. I want to create a community. I want to, again, like-minded people, or if I can help somebody, or somebody can help me, if me putting myself out here like this, because I'm exposed. Like, me talking like this is so, and granted, like, of course, like, I feel like people see you online and they're like, oh, like, they imagine a personality of you, but it's like, I don't be over here just talking to people all day. Like, I talk to my people, but like, I'm not over here just talking to random strangers every day. So, or just telling my business, as I always say, like, telling my business. But me exposing myself like this is so that maybe I can learn too. I can learn from y'all as well. I can meet people, and maybe y'all will have tips and tricks for me. Maybe we'll bond over certain things. That's the goal. So what you can expect from Pretty Geez Thingz, the podcast, is honest solo talks, relationships, whether friends, family, man, open reflections, and lots of yap. Lots and lots of yap. That's honestly, I just want to talk. I just want to chit chat. I just want to have a little girl talk. That's what I like to do. And honestly, that's what this stemmed from too. On my YouTube, I noticed that I be talking. Like I just be talking. Like it's supposed to be a vlog, but I just end up sitting there. I'm like, yeah, duh, duh, duh. I start talking. I start getting to yapping, and I'm like, that. I feel like that also sparked the podcast idea because I'm like, why don't I just make a podcast where I can sit and talk? Because that's, I mean, I love watching the podcasts that I do watch, which I watch Behind the Likes, Decisions used to be Horrible Decisions. That's what I like to do. Okay, I'm about to wrap it up. My camera must have known that I'm about to wrap it up because the battery died. I put a new one in, but we're already, I think, at like 45 minutes. And obviously I've talked a lot about the day he passed and everything throughout this video, but I do like, and if you haven't gotten that already, like, I just want to emphasize on my dad, Dennis Gray, was the most authentic, the most genuine, the funniest, selfless person that I think I will ever come across in this lifetime. And it's that deep. I'm saying there are really people out here that are only one of one that you will never encounter again. And I cross my heart, holds that, like, my dad is one of them. And I feel eternally blessed and grateful that I got to experience that. I think that my purpose, and that's, I mean, losing my dad, I feel like has discovered a new purpose in me. I don't think my dad was dealt the best hand in life, just in a bunch of different aspects. And I really feel like I was sent here. My purpose in this life was to give him that love, and that's what I did. I think if my dad didn't know nothing, he knew that he had his baby girl who loved him immensely, immensely, to the furthest extent, to no end. There was no limit to the love I have for my dad. And you'll notice I talk about my dad in the presence a lot because he is here with me. But yeah, I really, more than anything, he is someone to honor. He's an honorable man more than anything. He is a father. He is a best friend, my best friend. And I just feel like it's so important to carry people's name when they go. And that's, I mean, there's so many people I feel like get lost and they aren't represented when they leave this world or wherever they might go, wherever you believe in. But my dad has to be remembered. He has to be talked about. And so, again, coolest guy you'll ever meet. I'm sure I will tell so many more stories about him, but he is just the funniest guy, the most genuine guy. Like, again, can't say it enough. I'm blessed to have had that for my father, for a best friend. Like I was saying, look for open reflections, yep. Just really talking about anything and everything. And if you know me, like I will bring up the most random things. Like, and I change subjects and get off topic so quick. So I really hope that with these cards, I just stayed on track. Like when I go back to edit, hopefully I notice that. And that's what I mean too. I hope y'all take it easy on me. And not that I'm like seeking likes or seeking approval, but I do just genuinely hope y'all like this. Like I hope y'all enjoy my podcast. I really hope that I get views and stuff because I am putting a lot into it. And it's like, I'm literally self-producing. I'm going to be the editor. I'm making the cards. I'm doing the setup. This is my literal apartment. This is my life. So I really do hope that people are watching it and like really like it. I hope y'all with it. And I really just hope it fills a void for you. Like, for example, Sex in the City, like literally on my wall. On my wall twice, actually. That's a Sex in the City reference. So Sex in the City fills a void for me. I feel like a loner a lot of the time. And again, that's why I want to talk about friends and stuff too, like just friendships, because I feel like people see you with so many different people and they assume that you're like so loved and you're always with your friend. I feel like a loner a lot of the time. And so and that's what I mean too, where a lot of my friends probably don't know. That is why I'm so obsessed with Sex and the City. It fills a void for me. A lot of the things that I wish that I had friends to do with, and I don't get to do. Sex and the City fills that void. I wish that we would just go get coffee on a random Saturday morning and sit at the coffee shop and debrief the week. Like, why is that not normalized anymore? And me and my one girlfriend are supposed to do that soon because she actually, it was crazy because I was already thinking it. Like, I think that all the time. That's why I'm obsessed with the show. But then she texted me out of nowhere and was like, do you want to do a coffee date? And I was like, bitch, did you read my mind? But all that to say, Sex and the City fills a void for me that I feel like I'm missing when it comes to friends and friendships. And so that's like what I kind of hope this will do for others. I hope that listeners, the people who listen to this, will feel like maybe whether it's a friend or whether it's like a therapist talking with a therapist. I just hope to fill some type of void for y'all. So I might have guessed. Of course, I've had a couple friends already be like, hey, like, when am I coming on the pod or da da da? And it's like, the pod. But I might have guessed. I don't know. Of course, like at this time, that's kind of up in the air, considering that I am doing this out of my apartment. It's like I would have to have people I know only. And I kind of would want to do it where people I don't know, like I would want to actually sit down and talk. Like, of course, there's always more to know about the people you hang out with and care about and be around already. But I would definitely want to open it up to people that I don't have conversations with all the time and don't know as well. So, but we'll see how I go about that. I know some people do really do it out their house, even if they're like whatever. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. But yes, lastly, as I was saying, this episode is dedicated to my dad, Dennis Gray. I am so, I can't express enough the gratitude for those listening who are at this minute mark right now, who listened all the way through, listening to me ramble about my dad and talk about everything. I am so grateful for you being on this journey with me. I know my dad is so proud of me for using my voice in such a positive way, because I was always called the peanut gallery. I was always called Miss Talker, like I'm always talking. So I know he would be so hyped about this and he would think this is the perfect fit for me. Thank you again. I just can't express enough. If you are listening all the way through, if you have listened to this minute mark, thank you for being here from the beginning. I cannot wait to go on this journey with you. And that's what I mean too, where we have to stop boxing ourselves into things. We have to just do it, literally like Frankie. We have to just do it. We have to just experience things. Who knows how long this will go? Who knows if I drop one episode and don't like it and never do it again? Like, but that's okay to do. Like, that's what we have to start learning. And I feel like that's why it took me so long to start, because I just kept getting stuck on, well, I have to know I want to do it. I'm not going to know if I don't try. I'm not going to know until I get through the process. If I get through it and I don't like it, that's fine. And that's the same thing with my business gloss. So I hope this has inspired or encouraged somebody the same. This is just the start. Yeah, I am so excited. I can't wait. Please interact with me in the comments. I really hope y'all interact in the comments. And kind of just tap in with me what you liked about this episode. If you can relate in any way, tap in with me. If you're on your grief journey, let me know any things y'all want, like for days or time or whatever the case may be. And yeah, that is a wrap on the first episode ever of Pretty Geez Thingz, the podcast. We are closing this out. Stay pretty, stay messy, and most importantly, stay you. Bye!